Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the video, and today I'll be doing a little tutorial video on how to, I got this new frame in, which is the Carbon Micro H frame from Micromotor Warehouse. I'm going to show you a build tutorial on how to put everything together, or at least how I'm doing everything, show you the components I'm using, and just show you how I'm going to put it together, so if you'd like to replicate my build, you can. So give me a second, and I'll clear everything off, and we'll start with the frame. Okay, here we are with the frame. As you can see, I have it here, and it's I believe 1 millimeter thick carbon, and the top plate is 0.5 millimeter thick, but plenty strong enough for the purposes that this is going to be doing. Looks pretty good. And now the general construction of it is pretty much symmetrical, except for there is a hole up here that's not back here. This side has a line. I'm not really sure what's that for, but it won't matter for me. So to start off, I'm going to attach the, let me see. Hold on one second. Okay, and so when I put the motors on, I'm going to want to heat shrink the wires to the arm, and to do that, I'm going to use some black heat shrink that I'm pretty sure will fit over the arms. Yep, and it's just the right size, and I got this from Bang Goods. So let me cut a couple small strips. So I'm going to need scissors. Hold on again. Okay, here we go. So there just need to be just little ones. So let's just cut some of them. Just enough to keep the wires in place, and black should blend in. So there's 4 for the 4 arms. So let's just slide those over before we get to putting the motor mounts in. So I'm going to do one, just show you one arm, because that's all you need to know. And I'm going to be doing it with the mounts coming up from underneath. So you take the supplied screws, you put one down through, and get that there, and then you take one of the washers that are also supplied, and it's pretty hard to do, but you have to get it onto that little screw. I can't get it. There we go. I got one. Let me do the other one. It's pretty hard to do on camera. So let me get this one. Oops, dropped it. And if you do lose some, it does come with a couple spares, but definitely be careful with them. And there we go. I got that one. That was pretty good. And since I don't have the right size, I'm just going to use pliers to hold the other end while I tighten it down. And you don't want to over tighten it. These are soft screws, as well as the 3D printed plastic and the carbon. You don't want to crush anything. And this is a 1.5 millimeter Allen key or hex wrench, if you don't know what that is. So there we have the first arm here, and we have the heat shrink ready for when I put the motor through. So now I'm going to go and do all 4 other arms. Okay, here we are back again, and just one thing I forgot to mention, it's actually, I did it the wrong way when I explained it. I wanted the screws to go from the top and the bolts to be, the nuts to be on the bottom, just because I think it makes it look a little bit cleaner. So just a quick thing, and you don't have to do it that way, that's just the way I chose to do it. And also that there are 2 different lengths of screws. There's a little bit longer ones, which I used here, which they stick out just a little bit. If I can get it to focus, they stick out a little bit from the nut there, but the other smaller ones, they go for these posts here. So that's the next step. is to add the posts. So you take the screws and they go in these outer holes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you just take the screw and hold it in with your thumb and then screw on the post. So I'll do those real quick. Okay, there we have all of them, and then to tighten them down, I'm just going to use my pliers again to hold the post, and the same Allen key to tighten it. And now you have to be really careful on these because you're threading into plastic, so you just want to do a little bit of a tweak to get it tight. Just a little bit, not too much. And last one. And so there we go. And now I'm not going to be adding the top plate yet because it'll be a lot easier to install our board and electronics in the middle if we don't have that top plate on, so I'm going to leave that off. So the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding motors. And now these are the motors I got that Benedict sent me from Micromotor Warehouse. I believe they are the CL0215, I don't know. I'll put a caption across the screen here as well as a link to them down below. But he sent me 2 sets, and now these are direct drive 8.5 millimeter motors, so pretty strong motors, and I believe they're the fast version of the motors on the site. And they should just fit straight in here. And they do. They're a very tight fit, so you're gonna need pliers to do so to get them in there. And I'm using these because they kind of adjust if you tighten them down. These are an adjusting one, so I'm gonna spin it just a little bit and make sure you be kind to those wires on there so you don't get them. You just push, it kind of gets stuck there. A little bit hard to get in, but I did do a mock-up build where I had these in, so they do indeed fit. You just kind of have to get the right angle on them. Really tight mounts, since they just pressure fit in. You're never gonna lose them in flight. I think I got this one started. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, a little bit more, and right there is where I'm going to stop. And now I'm going to put hot glue. I'm going to bend these wires down. Well, I'm going to push just a little bit more in to get it a little bit more flush. So there we go. I don't think it goes any farther in than that, as you can see right there. So let's get it to focus. Why is it not focusing? Okay, but there it goes. So I'm going to bend these wires down, and then I'm going to put hot glue on them. So let me do the rest of the motors here, and then I'll come back to you once I have them glued. So let's fast forward. Okay, here we are back again. As you can see, I now have all my motors installed, so I'm going to go and put the glue on the bottoms of the caps here. So you can see this one back here, this blue, I almost ripped it off when getting them in, so you have to be very careful. Hopefully that motor's still okay. And I'm pretty sure you want the counterclockwise in the front left and back right, and the clockwise in the front right and back left, so you need red and blues in the front, and this is going to be my front up here. You want red and blue wired, and you're here and here, and black and white here and here. So let me go glue the motors, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we are again. As you can see, I now have everything in with the motors, with the hot glue covering the ends of them there. It's not the prettiest, but it should protect my motors. And I think it's still going to land on the screws, hopefully. And if not, it'll be on the glue, so it'll be okay. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to thread the cables through the heat shrink. Yeah, easier said than done. Okay, there's one just to get it through there to be in preparation to accept the board in the middle. So there's two. Let's get the last one, or last two. here. And like I said, you can do this build other ways. I've seen tons of different ways to build this, all using the same frame. This is just how I'm choosing it, so you can see. I have my Blade Nano QX FPV board here, and there's the 4 motors, and this is actually the back, and this is the front, so this is the top. So this is the way it's going to sit in there. So it's going to sit like that, and it comes standard with these 2 connectors on it, a 1.5 or 1.25 millimeter micro JST, a male and a female on there, but I cut off the female and added a let's see, what did I added the micro low-Z plug to accept my batteries, which have that plug on it already. And then the other end, this is super convenient, this end is going to plug straight into my FPV camera that I have. And I modified this a little bit, but I'll go over that later when I mount that. So for mounting this, since this is a carbon frame, you need to shield it. So I'm going to be using, so it doesn't short, I'm going to be using double-sided foam, hopefully, and it should still fit within the plates there. So I think I'm just going to, hopefully it should be able to just go like this. This is the back motor, so it should just be able to plug in that one, and then plug in that one, plug in that one, and plug in that one. Hopefully that should be just how it goes in there. Then let me see, to get the foam, I gotta kind of bend the wires on the plugs a little bit so they're kind of like at a right angle, so they're as flat as possible. Then I'm going to set that foam down and then push the board onto it. This is just kind of like a mock-up here, and then if I get my top plate, am I going to have enough room? And not really, so I guess I'm going to have to put some liquid electrical tape over this top plate, or else, nah, well I guess I can try. I don't know if these spacers, it came with a bunch of these little washers that aren't the same size though, but I think since the diameter of the screw is same, I should be able to use these spacers, but I'm still gonna put some liquid electrical tape on the board, so let me do that. Okay, here we are back again, and I realized that I really didn't need to mount it to the bottom plate, so I did do that liquid electrical tape on the board there, but then I took a piece of that double-sided sticky tape and I taped, I taped it to the top plate here. I don't know why it's not focusing. Let's see if that'll focus there. So as you can see, I put it to the top plate, and now once I screw it down, there should be, it pushes on the motor wires just a little bit, but this 0.5 millimeter plate is so thin that it actually bends it up just a little bit, which is actually kind of beneficial because it puts less strain on the wires. And it doesn't look as nice with that white there, but I might color that black with a marker. But let me put the screws through the plate here. So let's put this one, let's get it through first, and then line it up, and then you get your Allen wrench, tighten it down. Whoops. Build is more tedious than I thought, but it's a very small build. So, and like I said before, be careful on tightening those. Don't strip them. You're just threading into. Okay, there we go. I have all the screws in, and as you can see, the board's starting to look quite like a quad. This looks pretty cool. So I think I'm gonna go ahead, because the wires are just kind of, the motor wires are just kind of hanging out in there, and I don't really have any problem with that. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and heat shrink down the arms there, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we are again. So we have this here. I used my hot air gun on 170 degrees on So low heat on a low power setting, like low, I don't know what you call it, but the amount of air that comes out, so it wasn't all coming out quickly. And I got a nice clean shrink around there, and that looks pretty cool. Keeps the wires nice tight against the arms, as well as sort of conceals them. And then we have this in here. So the next thing that I'm going to do, and it lands just fine on those motors there. Maybe do some kind of landing feet mod, I don't know. I think you can put erasers if you glued erasers, like for a pencil. The colorful pointed ones, you can glue them on there, and they should keep it. But you're going to be adding weight, but this should be pretty powerful, but I think I'm going to leave it like that. And then next, what I'm going to do is add my FPV camera. And now to do that, since this plug down here is going to go to the plug that comes out of the board, let me see if I can pull it up through here just so you can see, to this plug here, I'm going to, and this camera I bought off of Banggood, it's a camera and transmitter all in one, and I've tested it out just walking around my house, and it doesn't seem to do that well in terms of picture quality, and I have put liquid electrical tape on the back here, and I've also unsoldered the wires, and then I put them out the back here because they came out the bottom, so I would be able to mount this in the frame the way I'm doing it. And it's a little bit too big. If you had just the camera, I think you can fit it in this little spot here. I've seen people do that, nice and protected, but this is too big, so what I'm going to do, slide the power cable through to the back. I can get that there. Alright, coming out here is just fine for right now. And then I'm going to mount it just like that on there. It's a little crooked right now, but I'm going to just have to hot glue it. It doesn't fit in between there, so I'm just going to glue it on there. And that is unprotected, but I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. And if it is, I'll buy another one, or, you know, I really don't think that's going to be a problem. I'm not going to be doing any high-speed indoor flying, just kind of putting around close proximity. So I'm going to go hot glue that on there, and I'll be right back once again. Okay, here we are back again. As you can see, I now have my micro FPV camera mounted right there, and I just glued it on. There's a tiny bit of an upwards angle, and a little bit of reinforcement on the back here, but mostly just along the bottom and sides there. So that should hold on. It's very solid on there. And so now pretty much all that's left, I have everything plugged in, the board, the motors, everything's plugged in, and I did plug the camera into the other lead, and then I sort of glued it in between there. So all that's left now is to add my battery and the props on, and for the battery, I'm going to put it just a little bit backwards because the camera adds a little bit of weight up front to try and even out the weight distribution. And then for my battery, I'm going to be putting Velcro on it, so that should cover up this too. So I'm just gonna put a piece of Velcro on here. I can get the thing off, and I don't really care about the sticky side, which one goes where. So let's just stick that right on there, like that, and that covers that white foam up nicely. Blend in with the black, and then I'm gonna have to cut this one a little bit to fit the battery, so I'm going to snip some off. Not straight. Okay, let's see if that fits. It does. So let's put this on. Get the thing off there. Now I'm going to stick it on the battery. Set it down to do this. Okay, right there. Just put that in the general spot of the battery, and these are 500 milliamp hour 25C 1S lipos. I got these from T-Mart, set of 5 for like 15 bucks. Really good price. So let's stick the battery on in the middle. Like I said, just a little bit back because of that camera weight. So you can see there, just a tiny bit backwards from the very center. And now let's put my props on. And now they should go counterclockwise. Should be the white and black motors. So this one is a counterclockwise prop. So let me push this on here, and that goes on there. And this one is a clockwise, so that should go right there. This one is a clockwise, so that'll go back here. Right there, pushes on nice. And then let's put the last one, should go right there. So, looks like I'm all pretty much done here. So here we go. That was my complete build tutorial of the Microcarbon H with my build, I guess. I mean, I'll leave links to down to all of these things down below. I got the frame and motors were sent to me from Micromotor Warehouse, and I bought the batteries I already had, and I bought the clear hubs and X4 props off of eBay because they're supposedly really strong. The camera was $40. I bought it off of Banggood, and there's the antenna as well for FPV, 5.8 gigahertz. And for the flight controller board, I bought that off of eBay as well, Blade Nano QX flight controller, the FPV version, because you need that to handle the higher current of these 8.5mm motors. Got that off of eBay for like 25 bucks. And since that is a Spectrum protocol, DSM2 or DSMX, for my radio, I'm currently using a Turnigy 9XR Pro, but I'm getting my Taranis. It should arrive here any day, so hopefully I'll be able to use this module with it. But I got this orange RX module from Hobby King. Cost me about another $30. That has DSM2 and DSMX capabilities, so that should let me bind to this. So now I just have to go through and figure out how to get these two working together and see anything else with that. And as soon as I get it going, I'll definitely do a maiden flight for you. Hopefully I'll be able to get that in tomorrow to take the video. But yeah, looks pretty sweet. I'm really liking the way this looks. You can fit definitely heavier batteries on here if you want, so I'll be experimenting with that. That was my build. Hopefully it'll help you if you're interested in doing something like this. I think I did a pretty good job. Hopefully I did nothing wrong, but I'll find out pretty soon. So that was the video. Please subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.